Hi everybody, welcome to our Friday TNT, last day of the week, and been a busy week, but overshadowing the whole week has been this dreadful tragedy in southern Turkey and northern Syria with the earthquake there with the intersecting fault lines. And somebody criticised us yesterday saying it's nothing to do with Thailand, you shouldn't be reporting it. Well, basically, I am just reporting the Thai perspective on this. But of course, the actual death toll is worth mentioning. CNN, and as I've said before, no matter what you think about CNN's political bias, one way or the other, their international reporting is usually excellent. And they say that over 21,000 dead from quake in Turkey and Syria. In Turkey, the death toll's risen to at least 17,674, and in Syria, at least 3,337 people killed, at least 78,000 people, 124 in Turkey and Syria, are currently injured. That toll of both injuries and injured will rise as emergency services continue to get to the worst affected area. Just going to the Bangkok Post, and Thais join quake mission. Let's find out what's happening. Well, firstly, His Majesty King Maha Vajiralongkorn has sent messages of condolences to the presidents of the Republic of Turkey and the Syrian Arab Republic after the recent earthquake. The message that was sent to the president of Turkey reads, "Queen Sotida and I are shocked and so deeply saddened by the catastrophic earthquake striking expansive areas across southern Turkey. On behalf of the people of Thailand, we wish to extend our heartfelt sympathy and condolences to Your Excellency and the people of Turkey." And the message that was sent to the President of Syria reads, "The Queen and I are much saddened to learn of the devastating earthquake which struck many areas in northwest Syria, with great numbers of lives lost." And the Prime Minister, Prayut Chan-o-cha, yesterday donated 5 million baht on behalf of the Thai government to support humanitarian efforts. And the Director of Special Operations, Search and Rescue at the Department of Prevention and Mitigation said that the Thai Urban Search and Rescue Team, made up of 42 rescue workers and 2 sniffer dogs, flew to Turkey. That would be Wednesday night for a 10-day search and rescue operation. And the Permanent Secretary of the Public Health Ministry says the ministry is sending 32 medics to assist victims in Turkey and Syria. Just a quick update there of the situation in Turkey and Syria with a Thai perspective, and of course sympathies and condolences to all those people who have been affected in this horrible disaster. Now, moving on, and tomorrow, now Nick is of course over doing his army training somewhere in that direction, and I think they're probably having a fine time rummaging around the jungle. Now, I'm on my own tomorrow. Then on Sunday, I'm joined by the Snake Man, hopefully without Snake, but I'm not sure. So that's on Sunday. So we're doing a live program tomorrow and Sunday. We spend about an hour with you. You're all welcome. There's no cost. There's no memberships or anything. So please drop in and see if we can get over 500 people joining in at one time. I think that would be fantastic if we could reach that. And that's at 9 a.m. Thai time. Well, speaking of our live programs, I'll see if we can move some of these. We've still got a few of these to auction off. There's a link in the description if you'd like to get hold of one of these stuffed toy elephants that have been put together by the team at Seeds of Change. We've got 30 of them to auction, all made from my crappy old shirts. And, well, they're not crappy, but I mean, people used to describe the fashion sense as crappy. But we've got a few more of those to auction. A link in the description if you'd like to read more about the history of the shirts and how we're raising money for Seeds of Change. Every single baht will go directly to Seeds of Change. Moving on to our next story today, and we head to Pattaya. This from the Pattaya News, and teenagers throwing ping pong bombs at Bali High Pier alarms tourists in Pattaya. What was that? Oh, somebody's throwing bombs at us. Yeah, I'd be alarmed too. Let's see what the story's about. And the Pattaya News reports that a gang of youngsters caused chaos by throwing ping pong bombs at Bali High Pier around 11 p.m. That would be Wednesday night. Pattaya residents and tourists were alarmed and called for action from relevant authorities. Apparently, a group of about 10 teenagers arrived at the field on motorbike and began throwing ping pong bombs, creating detonations that could be heard around the area. And the group left before authorities arrived, and down the bottom, the explosion disturbed many people and tourists and left a big hole in the concrete field. If it could leave a big hole in a concrete field, I think it could do a lot more damage if it hit a person. And the police say although the incident had yet to cause harm to people, they would find the concerned teenagers and bring them to justice. Ping pong bombs are quite easily made. They're often used in protests. Most of the time they're just a noisemaker, but you wouldn't want to be hit by one. And we now go from Pattaya to some disturbances down on the southern island of Phuket. And Phuket Go reports that French tourists arrested for driving around Patong making noise. And 7 French tourists were arrested and fined by Phuket police, that would be Wednesday night, for disturbing the peace with their motorcycles in the island's party town. That report there from Phuket-go.com. But I much prefer this headline in Coconuts Bangkok, which is coconuts.co. A fleet of French bros set out last night on scooters just before midnight in a celebration of life that was so obnoxious it ended with 7 arrested and fined. Phuketters, I prefer Phuketians, did a double take last night when it turned out an annoying scooter gang juicing their engines, making noise around 11 p.m, was not comprised of Thai teens, but rather fully grown Frenchmen joyriding along Patong Beach. Here they are, and I don't have the audio on this particular track, but suffice to say they're jeering and cheering and making a lot of noise. There's obviously the ringleaders. These are all rented bikes. Well, I'm sure 99% of them would be rented bikes. And the French community coming out in force, riding along Beach Road. Now, I have to say that if you're going to be making a noise in Patong, riding along Beach Road's probably the place to do it. There's not really any residents living along Beach Road. It's all hotels and cafes, souvenir shops, bars, little restaurants, and of course the beach. So I don't think any residents are making a legitimate complaint saying it kept them awake. There's plenty more noise in other parts of the town that would be keeping them awake. Anyway, French bros, according to Coconuts Bangkok, behaving badly. We now go to The Nation, and the ministry seeks help to stop illegal sugarcane harvest fires. This issue coming up every year, same thing, and these plantation fires up around the north and the northeast of Thailand. The smoke gets blown down into central Thailand and Bangkok because, of course, the monsoonal winds have swung around in around about December. The winds are lighter and they're coming from the north and the northeast, blowing this smoke down to the capital. And, of course, that's when the authorities know about it because suddenly it's affecting them. Let's go to this story from The Nation. To help reduce air pollution, the industry minister has asked 2 other ministries to help it prevent farmers from illegally burning their sugarcane fields before harvest. Many sugarcane farmers, according to the story, still burn their fields before harvest, even though it can land them in jail. The traditional practice makes harvesting more convenient because fire burns the leaves off the cane. However, it creates air pollution. Don't we know it? And according to the Cane and Sugar Board, 29, nearly 30% of the 15 million tonnes of sugarcane sold to sugar mills from December the 1st to January the 31st was burned before it was harvested. Another one of the contributing crops to these fires are corn crops as well. And the Cane and Sugar Board office has expressed concern that PM 2.5 fine particles of dust in the air from burning sugarcane weakens the immune system and makes people more vulnerable to COVID-19. How they dragged the COVID-19 issue into this particular story? Well, one very enterprising PR writer did. It also produces smog that can damage the tourism industry, and there's absolutely no doubt that if you are in Bangkok, or even worse up in the northern parts of Thailand, Chiang Mai, Chiang Rai, at this time of the year, the smog can be almost debilitating, and it certainly reduces any enjoyment of the beauty of those areas. Let's just check the maps today. This is from iqair.com, and I've circled in black where Chiang Mai is under that sea of little red dots, red meaning that it's unhealthy. atmosphere or unhealthy air quality today. Down around Bangkok, not looking too bad today, monitoring both good and moderate air quality. And we will be keeping our eyes on those air quality maps and the fire maps during the next 2 months, as this is the worst time of the year for the air pollution and the conjunction with the burning off season for farmers in Thailand. Not only Thailand, but Myanmar, Laos, Cambodia, where most of the fires, as we can see on the fire maps, actually occur. You're watching TNT. It's Friday, the last day of the week. Our live programs, 9 a.m. tomorrow and Sunday. On Sunday, we've got the snake guy. I'm not sure how I'm going to cope with that. We might have to have a very, very wide-angled lens indeed. You're watching TNT. Thank you for joining us on our final day of the week. Big thanks to our sponsor too, 5 Star Marine in Phuket. If you'd like to head off on a private tour of any of the islands, beautiful beaches and waters around Phuket, make sure you contact 5 Star Marine when you're heading to the southern island. There's a link to their website in the description. As we head to the nation, Thailand, and this story, LGBT couples can marry in Rayong, honeymoon on cement this Valentine's. Well, that's a surprise. Same-sex marriage in Thailand. That must have happened overnight. Let's find out what's going on. LGBT and straight couples can register their marriage in Rayong this Valentine's Day, then honeymoon on the eastern province's Love Island of Koh Samet. Love Island. The first Rayong in Love event will be held at the Prachedi Klang Nam, and a romantic backdrop for couples to tie the knot. The theme will be Love Has No Condition. I assume that should be love has no distinction or love has no barriers or something. It didn't quite translate well. Let's check. This event welcomes couples of all sexes, including those from LGBT groups. The district office will issue a marriage certificate for every couple in the fair. LGBT people just warming up their engine to head down to Rayong, but hang on before you do. But marriage certificates issued to LGBT couples will have no legal effect, as Thailand has not yet officially recognised same-sex marriage. Having said that, one of the bills waiting to be passed in Parliament in Thailand is a bill that would de facto legalise same-sex marriage in Thailand, but like 4 or 5 other bills, including the cannabis bill, they can't get a quorum together in Parliament because all the parliamentarians are running around trying to decide which party they're going to run for. The last 4 months in Thailand, there's been no effective parliament. So that probably constitutionally they need to figure out a way to keep the parliamentarians doing their job until they get to the end of their term. Obviously, the parliament will be dissolved sometime in March and an election will be held sometime in May. They're saying May the 7th, but I digress. Back to the story, they would still have a powerful effect on the hearts of LGBT couples, he said, adding that he'd be personally signing all the certificates granted in the ceremony. And there they are, they're the certificates that you can get if you'd like to go down to Rayong and Koh Samet for the Valentine's Day celebrations. What are you doing for Valentine's Day? I'll be doing absolutely nothing. I'll be phoning up number 1, who's not here at the moment, and we'll have a chat. That's about as good as it's going to get for me. Let's go to our next story. And COVID fears high prices curb Chinese group tours. And this is reported by the Bangkok Post. China's travel agencies have resumed promotion of overseas package tours in an effort to jumpstart the tourism sector, but they could face a hard time finding customers. A trial for flight, ticket and hotel packages to select countries started on Monday since China emerged from 3 years of isolation on January the 8th, and the general manager of the Guangdong travel agency says the resumption has definitely brought a positive atmosphere to the industry. From the perspective of tourist volume, Southeast Asia is the largest, so we're very happy to be able to resume tourism there. And he says, we expect tourism in 2023, hopefully, to recover to about 50% of the levels in 2019. China was also the world's largest source of outbound tourists before the pandemic, taking 170 million trips and contributing US $253 billion to the global economy back in 2019. The world's largest international travel spender is still on its recovery path. It will eventually return to global prominence, says Natixis Asia Research. And Zhao said customers frequently asked about the coronavirus situation overseas and the prevention measures taken after arrival at a new destination. So all those years under the zero COVID campaign or plan certainly has an effect on the Chinese people's approach to COVID-19, a lot more careful about it still than perhaps other nations. Now, a very sad story coming up, and a Thai man sacrifices himself to save mother in a savage pitbull attack. And this story from thetiger.com. A former jockey from Nakhon Ratchasima province in northeast Thailand was killed by his pet pitbull while trying to save his mother, who was attacked by the animal. Trying to find the story amongst all these ads. Today, that's yesterday, a funeral was held for the 47-year-old Ted Pong. The man's girlfriend said that Ted Pong was a big man weighing 95 kilograms, but was still no match for Bobby's strength, and the pit bull is now locked in a cage, and the family doesn't know what to do with him. Well, I think we all know exactly what needs to happen to that animal, killing a man who was simply trying to defend his mother from an attack. Another pit bull attack in Thailand. A sad way to end our program today, but that is all we have. I hope to see you tomorrow and Sunday. Sunday with the snakes, tomorrow just me and you. Any of your questions, any of your comments about things that have happened during the week, and we also might try and flog some more of these. They're on auction and you can bid for one of these. There's a link in the description of this video how you can get your hands on one of these limited edition toy elephants that have been made from my old shirts. But thanks for watching today. Thank you to our sponsors, 5 Star Marine, and especially a big thanks to you. Hopefully see you tomorrow.